That quarter sitting in your pocket might not be worth just 25 cents. Some Washington quarter dollars, coins most people spend without a second thought, have sold for well over $300,000 because of tiny minting mistakes no one noticed at the time. One small detail, one unusual weight, or one hidden error could turn ordinary change into a life-changing discovery. Before you spend your next quarter, you might want to look at it twice. An old coin can feel heavier than it should, not just in weight but in meaning. That quiet realization has happened to more than a few collectors who thought they were holding nothing special, only to discover they had stumbled onto something extraordinary. The 1979 D.U.S. Washington quarter-dollar error coin is one of those discoveries that reshaped expectations, transforming a familiar piece of pocket change into a numismatic prize with a documented value range between $109,210 and $190,000. By 1979, the Washington quarter was deeply embedded in everyday American life. The design featuring George Washington had been circulating for nearly half a century, so familiar that most people barely glanced at it before spending it. That familiarity is precisely why error coins from this era are so captivating. They were rarely questioned, rarely examined, and often circulated freely before anyone realized something was wrong. The D Mint mark identifies this quarter as having been struck at the Denver facility of the United States Mint. In the late 1970s, Denver was producing enormous quantities of quarters to support commerce across the country. Automated, high-speed presses ran continuously, striking millions of coins every day. While this efficiency kept the economy moving, it also created opportunities for small but critical mistakes to slip through quality control. A standard 1979 Washington quarter was intended to be struck in copper-nickel-clad composition and to weigh exactly 5.67 grams. For collectors, weight is one of the most important diagnostic tools. A deviation of even a few tenths of a gram can indicate a wrong planchet, off-metal strike, or incomplete bonding of the clad layers. Many of the most valuable 1979 D-era quarters were first identified simply because they felt unusual in hand or registered an unexpected number on a digital scale point. One of the most sought-after errors from 1979 D is the off-metal strike. These occur when a quarter design is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, or on an experimental or leftover blank. Such coins often show dramatic differences in color, thickness, and weight. An off-metal quarter might weigh significantly less or more than 5.67 grams, immediately signaling that something is out of the ordinary. Because these errors are visually striking and extremely rare, collectors are willing to pay well into six figures for authenticated examples. Another valuable category is the off-center strike. During the minting process, planchets must be perfectly aligned before the dies strike them. When alignment fails, the design is shifted, leaving part of the coin blank. The most desirable off-center 1979 D quarters are those that still show the full date and mint mark. These pieces clearly identify the coin while dramatically displaying the error, a combination that pushes values toward the upper end of the $190,000 range. The 1979 D quarter is also known for double die errors, though these are far rarer than on some earlier issues. A double die occurs when the working die receives a misaligned impression during its creation, causing letters or design elements to appear doubled on the struck coin. On Washington quarters, collectors look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, and the contours of Washington's profile. Strong, well-defined doubling confirmed by professional graders can elevate a coin's value substantially. Clipped planchet errors add yet another dimension to the story. These occur when the metal strip is improperly fed into the blanking press, resulting in a coin with a curved or straight section missing from its edge. Genuine mint clips show specific characteristics, such as a smooth, natural curve and metal flow toward the missing area. When a 1979 D quarter combines a dramatic clip with high preservation, collectors recognize it as a true mint error rather than post-mint damage. Understanding why these errors exist requires a look at the minting environment of the late 1970s. Inflation, population growth, and expanding commerce placed constant pressure on the mint to produce coins quickly and in massive quantities. Although quality control systems were in place, the sheer volume meant that a tiny fraction of mistakes could still number in the thousands. Most were caught and destroyed, but a handful escaped, quietly entering circulation. What makes the 1979 D Washington quarter error coin especially compelling is how ordinary its origins were. These coins paid for gas, groceries, and coffee. They passed through countless hands, often without a second glance. Some were undoubtedly lost or damaged over time, which only adds to the rarity of surviving examples in high condition today. Auction records and private sales have shown just how serious collectors are about these errors. Coins with documented provenance, professional grading, and clear error characteristics consistently command premium prices. A well-preserved off-metal or major off-center 1979 D quarter has sold for over $150,000, while the most exceptional pieces, combining rarity, condition, and visual impact, approach or exceed $190,000. Condition remains a decisive factor. A circulated coin with heavy wear may still be valuable if the error is dramatic, but uncirculated examples with original luster are the true stars of the market. Collectors carefully evaluate surface quality, strike strength, and eye appeal, knowing that small differences can translate into tens of thousands of dollars. For everyday viewers and new collectors, the lesson is surprisingly practical. Many high-value error coins were not discovered in auctions or dealer showcases, but in old jars, inherited collections, or rolls of coins from the bank. Checking the date and mint mark is the first step. Weighing the coin and comparing it to the official 5.67 gram standard can reveal hidden clues. Examining the edges, alignment, and lettering under magnification can uncover details invisible at a casual glance. The 1979 U.S. Washington $quarter error coin stands as a reminder that history and value do not always announce themselves. Sometimes they hide behind familiarity, waiting for curiosity to bring them into focus. These coins capture a moment when speed, technology, and human oversight intersected, producing something unintended yet extraordinary in the end. The true power of the 1979 Washington $quarter error coin lies in its message. Even the most common objects can hold uncommon stories. What appears ordinary today may become tomorrow's treasure. For anyone willing to slow down, look closer, and learn the details, the next life-changing discovery could already be sitting quietly among the coins they've overlooked for years. A quiet moment with a handful of old change can sometimes feel unremarkable, yet history has a way of revealing itself when least expected. Among the coins that have surprised collectors more than almost any other is the 1965 U.S. Washington $quarter error coin, a piece that looks ordinary at first glance but has stunned the numismatic world with documented values ranging from $166,000 up to $240,840. Its story is not just about money, but about a turning point in American coinage and the rare mistakes that slipped through during one of the most chaotic years in U.S. mint history. The Washington quarter, bearing the profile of George Washington, had already been a familiar sight for more than 3 decades by 1965. Introduced in 1932, the design symbolized stability and national pride. But by the mid-1960s, the United States was facing a serious coin shortage. Rising silver prices made it more profitable to hoard coins than to spend them, and everyday commerce began to suffer. To address this crisis, the United States Mint made one of the most dramatic decisions in American monetary history. In 1965, silver was removed from dimes and quarters, replaced with a copper-nickel-clad composition. That single change transformed the minting process overnight, and it is exactly this transition that gave birth to some of the rarest and most valuable error coins ever discovered. A standard 1965 Washington quarter was supposed to weigh 5.67 grams, made of a copper core sandwiched between layers of copper-nickel. Weight is one of the most critical diagnostic tools for collectors because even a small deviation can signal something extraordinary. Silver quarters minted before 1965 weigh 6.25 grams, and when a 1965 dated quarter turns up at or near that heavier weight, it raises immediate red flags. In the best possible way, one of the most legendary errors associated with the 1965 Washington quarter is the silver transitional error. In the rush to switch compositions, a small number of leftover silver planchets were accidentally fed into the presses and struck with 1965 dies. These coins should not exist, yet a few confirmed examples do. Because they look almost identical to regular quarters, many were likely spent unknowingly, disappearing into circulation before collectors had any idea what to look for. The reason these silver 1965 quarters are so valuable lies in both rarity and historical significance. They represent the exact moment the United States moved away from precious metal coinage in daily circulation. When authenticated, these coins often weigh close to 6.25 grams and show the distinctive silver edge without the copper stripe seen on clad quarters. Auction records show that confirmed silver examples have sold well into the 6-figure range, helping establish the upper end of the $240,840 valuation. Another major category of errors involves off-metal strikes. Some 1965 quarters were struck on planchets intended for other denominations or experimental metal compositions. These pieces often display unusual color, thickness, and weight. Because off-metal errors are visually striking and easy to distinguish once identified, they are highly sought after by advanced collectors. The 1965 quarter is also known for dramatic off-center strikes. During high-speed production, blanks were sometimes misaligned, resulting in coins where part of the design is missing and blank metal appears along the edge. Off-center errors that still show the full date are especially prized, as they clearly identify the coin while showcasing the mistake. Severe examples in high condition have fetched extraordinary sums in private sales. Clipped planchet errors add another layer of intrigue. These occur when the metal strip is improperly fed into the blanking press, leaving a curved or straight section missing from the coin. On a 1965 quarter, a genuine mint clip combined with strong condition can push values far beyond what most people imagine possible for a coin once worth just 25 cents. Quality control in 1965 faced unprecedented pressure. Mint workers were instructed to strike massive quantities of coins as quickly as possible to end the shortage. At the same time, mint marks were temporarily removed from coins between 1965 and 1967 to discourage hoarding. This lack of mint marks, combined with new materials and intense production schedules, created the perfect environment for errors to slip through unnoticed. Collectors and experts agree that condition and authentication are everything. A raw coin with a suspected error might spark excitement, but only professional grading can confirm its true nature. Certified examples with clear documentation command the highest prices, especially when paired with known auction histories. Coins graded at the top levels, showing minimal wear and strong eye appeal, consistently achieve prices in the $166,000 to $240,840 range. What makes the 1965 Washington quarter-era coin so compelling is the contrast between its humble appearance and its immense value. These coins once jingled in pockets, passed over counters, and dropped into parking meters. Some may still sit forgotten in old jars, drawers, or inherited collections, waiting for someone curious enough to take a closer look. Seasoned collectors often advise beginners to start with weight and edge inspection. A precise digital scale can reveal whether a quarter deviates from the standard 5.67 grams. Examining the edge for a solid silver color rather than a visible copper core is another critical step. These simple checks have led to some of the most astonishing discoveries in modern numismatics. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1965 Washington quarter-era coin holds deep historical meaning. It marks the end of circulating silver coinage in the United States and captures a moment of economic tension and transformation. Each era coin is a tangible reminder that even in highly controlled systems, human and mechanical imperfections can create lasting treasures that in the end. The legacy of the 1965 U.S. Washington quarter-dollar era coin is a powerful lesson in attention and curiosity. Extraordinary value does not always announce itself. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight, disguised as everyday change. For those willing to look closely, weigh carefully, and research thoroughly, the rewards can be life-changing. Proof that history, rarity, and value can all exist within the smallest details of a single coin. Sometimes the most extraordinary discoveries begin with an ordinary moment, like sorting through old coins and noticing that one of them feels just a little different. That sense of curiosity is exactly what has led many collectors to uncover the remarkable story behind the 1969 U.S. Washington quarter-dollar era coin. A piece that has shocked the numismatic world with values ranging from $142,540 to as high as $222,600. That the Washington quarter is one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Introduced in 1932, it honors George Washington, the nation's first president and a central figure in the founding of the United States. By 1969, the design was already deeply familiar to the public, which makes error examples from that year even more fascinating. These coins slipped into circulation unnoticed, blending in with millions of perfectly struck quarters. The D mint mark on the 1969 quarter indicates it was produced at the Denver facility of the United States Mint. During this period, the U.S. Mint was producing enormous quantities of coins to meet the demands of a growing economy. High-speed minting, while efficient, also increased the chances of mechanical mistakes, and it is within this environment that rare errors were born. One of the most famous and valuable errors associated with the 1969 D Washington quarter is the double die obverse. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned impression during its creation. As a result, elements on the coin appear doubled. On these quarters, collectors often notice clear doubling in the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and sometimes even along Washington's profile. When the doubling is strong and well-defined, the coin's value rises dramatically. Another highly prized error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not properly positioned during the striking process. Portions of the design may be missing, while blank space appears along one edge. Severe off-center strikes that still show the full date and mint mark are especially rare and can command astonishing prices at auction. The 1969 D quarter is also known for clipped planchet errors. In these cases, the metal sheet from which coin blanks are punched is misaligned, resulting in a coin with a curved or straight section missing from its edge. These clips are not damage caused after minting. They are genuine mint errors, and their distinctive shapes make them highly desirable among collectors. Even more unusual are wrong planchet errors, where a quarter design is struck on a metal blank intended for a different denomination. These errors are extremely rare and often weigh noticeably more or less than a standard quarter. When authenticated, such pieces can sit at the very top of the value range, sometimes exceeding $200,000 due to their uniqueness. Condition plays a crucial role in determining how much a 1969 D Washington quarter error coin is worth. A heavily worn coin, even with a legitimate error, may not reach the same heights as one that is uncirculated. Coins that retain sharp details, original luster, and minimal handling marks are the most sought after. Professional grading and certification add another layer of confidence, often pushing prices higher. What makes the 1969 D quarter particularly exciting is that it comes from an era many people still remember. These coins were once used to buy groceries, pay for parking, or drop into vending machines. The idea that such an everyday object could later be worth over $200,000 adds to its mystique and appeal. Collectors often emphasize the importance of careful inspection. Many error coins are discovered not in auctions, but in personal collections, old coin rolls, or inherited jars of change. Small details like unusual thickness, doubling of letters, or missing elements can signal something extraordinary hiding in plain sight. The market for Washington quarter errors has grown steadily over the years. As more collectors enter the hobby and information becomes widely available, competition for top-quality error coins increases. This demand is a major reason why the value of the 1969 D Washington quarter error coin has climbed into the $142,540 to $222,600 range. Beyond the financial aspect, these coins carry a deeper significance. They represent a moment when a massive industrial process briefly faltered, creating something unintended and rare. Each error coin tells a story of precision interrupted, of machinery and human oversight intersecting in an unexpected way. For many enthusiasts, owning a 1969 D Washington quarter error coin is not just about the money. It is about holding a tangible piece of American monetary history, one that connects the legacy of George Washington with the modern era of high-speed minting. It is a reminder that even in systems designed for perfection, imperfections can become treasures. In the end, the 1969 D U.S. Washington quarter dollar error coin stands as proof that value is not always obvious at first glance. Sometimes it takes patience, knowledge, and a willingness to look closer. What once passed from hand to hand as simple spare change can, decades later, emerge as one of the most coveted coins in modern American numismatics.